All right, guys, welcome to Friday Field Notes. I am not home, obviously. I'm not in my office. I am traveling, and that's why I'm out here. So, enjoying the sun. And but let's get right into it. Today, I want to discuss a few things. One thing that I've noticed, though, the modern dating is definitely something that guys are overthinking. Guys are watching too much content online, trying to figure out the strategies. And guys, it's not a strategy thing. Okay, it boils down to two things. And I know this from experience, and I actually have an experience to share with you that I just went through right now as we went out for lunch here in this small town. So the first thing is you have to focus on yourself. You have to become the type of man that attracts a certain type of woman, right? You have to put the work in. And a lot of guys complicate this thing by trying to learn tactics and strategies online. And yes, they can be important. Yes, they can be helpful, but you need to grasp the information, implement it over and over again, and actually get the results. So you have to put in the work. I'll give you a very quick example. We all know that being in shape and being lean is going to be you're going to have the biggest ROI when it comes to dating. Much a bigger ROI, much better ROI than if you make lots of money and dress a certain way and communicate a certain way, but just being fit will get you a bigger ROI. What does that mean? It means that your SMV, your sexual marketplace value, your number, right, from 1 to 10, whatever that may be, if you're a 3 and you are out of shape, if you build some muscle, get lean, obviously you want to groom yourself and look good, that's going to raise you 1 to 2 points easily. And you can do that within 3 to 6 months, depending on your age and your activity level and your intensity once you get into the gym. And of course, your nutrition. That's probably the most important thing. If you want to follow my nutritional plan, it's always going to be linked in the description. It's my nutritional reset protocol 1.0. That's always going to be there. That's what keeps me lean all year round. All right, so that's the first thing. You must focus on yourself. Forget about any strategies that you learn online on how to get girls or what to say and when to say it and when not to say. Forget that. Work on yourself. And if you can become the man, basically, literally the man, you will attract the women. You don't have to worry about that. Okay? And the second part of this, which is precisely why I'm doing this video, and it's precisely what happened to me this morning, is what I call vicinity game. I keep going back to this for a reason because it absolutely works. And I don't like to admit this, online, but sorry, a bug. But I am willing to share because I think it could help a lot of guys out. Okay, so vicinity game is basically when you see an attractive woman that you're actually really attracted to, that is your type. Okay, don't waste this on just anybody. It has to be the right type of girl. So you have to figure out what you want in a woman. When you see the girl that you really are attracted to, you think she could be not the one, but she could be someone that you're interested in physically, and she seems like she's got the right values and morals. If you're looking for that, okay, some of us are looking for just to smash from action. That's a little bit different. But in either scenario, when you see one of these prospects, I guess you could call them, what I like to do is I like to put myself in a situation or in their vicinity, right? You want to create a scenario where you are the focal point. You want to put yourself in her peripherals, right? So basically what you're trying to figure out is if she is into you, okay? And that's very easy for guys to detect, in my opinion. At least for me it is. When I see a woman looking at me in a certain way, I already know if she is interested or not. So when I get that look, okay, that's the most important thing. So vicinity game is putting yourself in front of her to allow for that moment to happen. Okay, if she doesn't give you the look and if you don't get that vibe from her, of course, then you move on. If you are the type that likes this vicinity game. But if you're into the vicinity game and you think this could work for you, here's how it works. All right, this is how it worked this morning. We went into an area where it had multiple small restaurants, and we were walking by to see where we want to have lunch. And I was leading the pack. I had my family behind me. I had some friends. And as I'm walking by one of the restaurants, I saw a very cute girl. So I made sure to put myself where in front of her, where she could see me, and it was immediate. She gave me the look. I turned to my friends and I said, "We're eating here." And that's basically what we did. Of course, granted, in this situation, I had already scoped out the different restaurants and I already knew that I kind of wanted the poke bowl. It was a poke bowl restaurant, like sushi. So I turned around, I gathered with my group, and I said, "Listen, I'm going to eat here." And two others wanted to also eat there. So I came up to her and I said hello. I introduced myself and I started the ordering process. So in that situation, I already had the look from her. So I knew she was, in my eyes, interested. The conversation went very well. I got a very good vibe from her. And then we ordered our food. Okay. So then we ended up getting our food eventually. We ate our food. And after we were done, I came back and continued the conversation with her. During that conversation, at that point, I already knew, based on her questions, that she was interested. I will have to admit, I'm going to admit this here publicly, okay? She was a little too young for me, and there were certain circumstantial things in her life that I didn't really warrant or didn't really would not be beneficial for me to even pursue. But she was a tad too young for me, but she was totally interested. She asked me what my age was, and I actually just turned 44. I'm not going to say what her age was, but I normally stick around 23 to 25 or 23 to 26 age range, but this particular young lady was actually younger. But there were certain things during the conversation that made me kind of question if I actually wanted to go through with it. Do I really want to put myself in that situation? And I'll get into that in another video, but for now, the answer is no. So the point is, the vicinity game worked, and that's really all that matters. All right. So let's recap here real quick because we do have to go. We're heading back out, and I am sweating my ass off. It is extremely hot out, but I definitely wanted to come out here and get some sun while I record the video. Right? We're multitasking, so we're gonna recap. Number one, you gotta work on yourself. Until you've put in the work, you should not be out there trying to mingle, trying to get girls. It's not worth it to me, to be honest with you, in my opinion, because you're going to put yourself in situations where you're going to be denied, and not only that, you're going to be discouraged, and that's not going to help with the progress. So you're better off hitting the gym and learning a new skill, whatever it is that you're doing to self-improve. Work on that, and once you feel confident enough, once you feel that you are the man, right, in your mind, you have to be confident. That's when you start implementing all the little things that you've learned along the way. And the ROI on being lean, getting in shape, proper grooming, of course, dressing well. I mean, the ROI on those four things is going to be way more substantial than if you just focus on the strategies and all these little sayings that people have and what to say, what not to say when you meet girls. So that's number one. Okay. And then, of course, secondly, you want to run this vicinity game. If you are not really that good with women, and you're now putting in the work and you have a little bit of confidence, this vicinity game actually works very, very well. Of course, you don't need to go out of your way because you should be self-improving and you should be living your life to its fullest potential. Okay, you're living your life, and all you really want to do is in those situations where there are beautiful women that you're actually interested in, that's where you want to put yourself in their vicinity. You want to be observant of the situation and see if you get that look from her. And once you do get that look, that's your green light. That's when you can actually start implementing all the things that you've learned about communication, about frame, about masculinity. All those things you can start implementing at that point. Okay, so remember, work on yourself first, your physique, anything that's going to make you a better man. And then once you do that, try the vicinity game. You can watch this video here where I explain it in more detail. All right. I think it's called Looks Maxing is Not Enough. And in there, I think, actually, no, I'm sorry. That video is also good for getting started in this process. But really, this video is the one you want to watch. It's the one that explains the vicinity game. And I do hope to have a more in-depth course on how I actually implement it. And some people are gonna laugh, yes. Some people are gonna laugh, but I'm just not the type to do a full-on cold approach. It's not my thing. I actually have two rules. One, I must be very interested in the girl. So I myself have to be extremely attracted to her. That's one. I'm not going up to just anybody. All right, and I'm not saying it has to be a 9 or an 8 or a 10. I'm looking. I like my sweet spot is like a 5 or 6, maybe a 7. So kind of like an average to above average girl next door. That's really my thing. That's what I'm into. So that's the first thing. You want to make sure that you're actually into that girl. All right. So that's my number one rule. And my number two rule is that I really do only like girls that like me. I'm going to repeat that. I only like girls that like me. There is no point for me to chase someone who's not attracted to me. You can't convince a woman to like you. Okay, so that's why this type of game works very, very well. And I've gotten great results. I've implemented this throughout my life without even thinking about it. Okay, now that I'm here in this position where I want to help a lot of guys, that's the only reason I'm talking about it. But prior to that, it was just a lifestyle. That's just the way I live. That's just the way I live my life on a daily basis. So I want you guys to try it. All right. So I'm gonna get out of here before I'm way too sweaty. I'm gonna have to probably shower again. But remember, guys, everything that you need right now when it comes to your nutrition, your fitness, and your mindset, I have something for you. I have free stuff and I have paid stuff. It's all in the description below. If you also want to connect with me one-on-one, go ahead. And also, the link will be in the description. I have to get out of here. I am way too sweaty. So, thank you guys. I appreciate you. Peace.